we are welcoming Bruno Fuks directly from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And Bruno, please do join us. Bruno is an electrical engineer and automation systems expert working in the oil and gas industry for about the last 13 years around the world. Today, he's an onshore operations manager for Modex FPSO located in Brazil, pre-salt, with capacity to produce 120,000 barrels a day. He leads the operation with a people-first approach to create an environment of trust. Bruno truly believes that people make the difference for the success of operations, and the good leadership is key for success. Bruno, really glad to have you with us. Thank you for taking the time and sharing the journey of MODEC and the FPSO in Brazil.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm very happy to be here with you. So today, I would like to talk a little bit about people management, right? How this can improve our operation, make it to the next level, right? People management and good leadership could turn our team to a very good results. So to start the discussion, basically what we can see is that some of the companies, right, develop their objective and goals based on their KPIs, right? And most of the KPIs is related to uptime, asset, HSE, financial, and client, right? And if you go deep of each KPI, basically we have uptime is more or less related to the time that you stay operation. It means that how much you produce and so on. So you drive your goals to the production process, number of trips and so on. The asset is more related to the integrity and how we are maintain the asset itself and the project that we need to do. HSE, we discussed a lot about safety and regulation. Financial is profit and cost of revenue. And the client, being internal or external, you're gonna be satisfaction, right? This is my point of view, a very simple way to see the company strategy, because most of these KPIs is a consequence, right? Should not be the goals of the company, or at least the objective. The main object of the company should be manage the people and leadership. When I say people management and leadership, I would like to discuss about know deeply your team, right? It's not only to know how and the way that they should do, but know their necessities, their weaknesses and strength, what they want for their future, right? And a link that I'm going to do about knowing your people and the COVID-19 as a result. So we're gonna try to show you in the end of the presentation how these two things can be linked. But the objective of each company, right, and not only for oil and gas market, but basically for each company that to work as operation, should be people management and leadership. People management and leadership. Why is that? This objective, if you have a very good people management, they will drive you to reach your KPIs, right? So the KPIs that you're seeing here is a consequence of having a well know your people and how you interact with them, right? So basically, we need to understand and define what is people management, right? There is a wrong and myope vision that we should have like a drive people for results. Actually, this is not the best, and COVID-19 comes here to show you that this is completely wrong. So the best way to have a good people management is to know your team very, very deeply. So the advantage that you're gonna have on that, you understand the strength and weakness of each person, so you can work on that, right? Try to anticipate the problem that you can have with this person when the new situation comes. So you're ready to willing to develop your team, create new talents, and define the success process for the next leaders. So you're gonna be more open to discuss about the job and how each person can assist on that, right? the people start to be safe to say what they want for their future, and not only for the future, but everything that they think that is important. So we start to have a kind of flexibility, and this was very important during COVID-19 on any crisis that you have on offshore, which is very common on offshore to have a spot crisis when you have downtime and so on. So to understand and allow people to say what they want and what they see uh, help you a lot to understand and treat the issues before it happen. And the people start to be more receptive and flexible for the new situations. So during the crisis, like COVID-19, you're gonna have a better response, right? This is basically the difference between you come with a new system and one person could say, why we create a new system during the pandemic? And another person could say, let's take the opportunity of the pandemic to create something new. So this different answer to the same perspective, right? So the same change show how well you are manage your people. So when you have a very good environment of work, when you create a good environment of work, people is more flexible and accepting the change and move for the next step. So this is basically what I would like to discuss here. It's how to create this environment, how we can have a very good environment of trust to lead our team to a crisis moment, and how you can flexibilize the team during the time to adapt for the new situations. So basically, how are we going to create a trust environment? Right? This is the key of the good leadership and people management. How we can create an environment that every single employee trust on you and bring the subject that they need to bring. So first of all, we need to have transparency. So we be honest. That's the point. Be honest with the team. Say to them, we are in the point A, we need to reach the point B. We have a pandemic, and we are going to survive like this and doing these type of activities. It's not like about talk with the team and make them afraid of what's coming now, but be honest. They need to know which challenge are coming and how we're going to treat this challenge, right? So this type of transparency creates a feeling on the team that they are supported, that the team can go and follow the leader because they know what they wanted to do. They know the company, what the company wants to do. So it's very important when you say to the person that they want to do something, you just not say, please do it. You need to explain why, right? The why of the company, why the company is doing this, why we are trying to move on this direction, and how he can support you. Because if he know deeply how they can support you, he will follow you, right? And I can't believe, or I'm driving to not believe that one person wake up in the morning, think that they would like to do something wrong. Every single person wake up in the morning and say, I want to do something very bad, very good. So I don't want to do something very bad. So how I can do something good, and if possible, be recognized by that. So with a transparency, they can understand how they can help you and bring with the ideas. That's the key. They come with ideas, and this is very important. And the second part of to have a trust environment and mostly on board is the constancy. So you need to be constant what we're doing, right? I have listened to several of speakers, and there's one specific one, Simon Sinek, that give me a very good example. It's like to go to the gym, right? If you go in the first day to the gym and work 24 hours a day, when you come back to your home, you're gonna see nothing. If you do that for the second time, do again 24 hours a day, when you come back again, you're gonna see nothing. So it's not about to do it exhausted, it's about to do it every day. So every single day you need to go to the gym, every single day you need to do it right, every single day you need to go there and follow what you believe. So if you deeply believe on what you're saying, if you deeply believe in what you're doing, you should continue doing. You should try. Make it an example. People follow examples. So if you make a parallel into the offshore market, this is much more related to the safety, right? A safety environment on board, a safety culture, as we normally say. So safety culture is not something that you can develop bringing the, okay, I'm going to the meeting, write some procedures, make a chicken parade in the area, and bam, you have a safety culture. This is not going to work like that, right? The most important thing in this moment is what you're gonna do every day. Like every day in the morning, talk about safety. Every day you bring what's happening in the market to the team and discuss deeply. Every day you go to the area and find what is your hazard, what is a threat to you. So all of these actions, if you do it every day, you're developing a safety culture, you're developing a place that people are safe, right? I'm not saying that we're not never going to happen a issue. It will, but you know how to act. You're training for that, and every single day you create the environment that people can speak to you. So the number of incidents that's gonna happen, it will drop a lot. People are going to their work looking for what they should looking for and report it. So if they're not able to fix on that moment, someone will fix in the future, but they report it. And that is the most important thing. So constancy is not about doing something one day for a long period. It's doing it continuously. And trust on board is something that is continuously. You're not going to have a trust environment in the first moment that you try. You're only going to have a trust environment after a while, when you show the team, you give the examples, you try and move and continue listen to the people. So when you listen to the people, that's a great key for any leader. Is you need really listen to the people, not say, okay, you can speak and then continue to work on the computer while you're speaking. No, you need to stop, look for him, if possible, take the notes that you need, and the best thing is try to do something with that information and give the feedback of what you do. So these give the ownership of the person that everything they're doing is being listened by the management of the company, is being listened by who can take the actions. And once he see the improvement done because of his information or his advice, it's like a recognition for the person. So he's gonna be very well. He look for more, like he try to find more things to say to you, something that can be improved, something that can avoid the risk of someone be hurt. So listen to the people is a very key issue for a trust environment, uh, to allow them to be part of this environment itself. They will feel that they are being more collaborative with the environment and helping each other. So they're gonna feel great for that, right? And on this direction, when you listen to the people, everything comes they grow, how they can improve themselves, and they will come to you and ask how I can create a better environment for me. Like it's fair to the people try to improve. So how I can create an environment where I can go to the next step, or can go to the different position. That's why I'm saying in the beginning that we should need to know what they want for the future, right? So the company, and not only the company, but managers and leader should give them the instruction and the way that they can have the resources to go further, to go to the next level, right? You can have a different position going to another position. It's just a matter of train the guy, right? And during this period, you know how deeply he wants that, right? And I can guarantee to you that once people start to grow, they will deliver to you 120% more, and they will follow because they know that you are improving their life. You are giving them the possibility to work in a different position, in a different place that they want to work. So they are willing to deliver more, right? And the last one and most important one is do what you say. Leaders are being followed by example, right? So if you make the parallel with the constancy that I talk about the safety environment, if you every single day talk about safety, and the first moment that you go on board, you do not use your full PPE, everything that you are trying to do go away. So once you say that this thing is important to you, you really need to do it, right? You really need to follow what you're saying and do it. If for you is important people, you need to be 100% available to talk with people. Right? I'm not saying that you're going to have full flexibility to talk with them every time, right? But what you cannot do, and it's very important, is if you are caring about people, you should not say, okay, talk to your supervisor and then he talks to me. If he comes to talk to you, it's something that they want to talk with the high management of the operation. So it's something that they pass through the drive that they can and comes to you. So at that moment, we should stop and listen to him, right? Every time you have meetings, we have our own work. We cannot say that we can stop your work to do that. It's not possible. But if not possible to attend on that moment, schedule a time. Say, now I'm in the middle of something. Can we talk later? Can we talk after my finish here? So, and attend that meeting, right? And give them the feedback. So you need to do what you say. You need to follow exactly what is important to you. So the people offshore will follow exactly what is important for the leaders. So it's all cascade, right? If the operation manager is important for him is safety, the OEMs feel that and feel that's going important as safety, and all the people below the OEM gonna feel that until the point that reach the guy that do the job. The same thing is about opportunity for growth. If you create an environment where people is willing to say what they want, uh, you start to have a very spot people saying. So this trust environment is start like that. You have a very spot trust environment coming, and one person feels safe, then a second person feels safe and help the other person, and in the time you're gonna have everybody helping each other, and you have the trust environment on board. So making a parallel what the moment that we are living today, if you look for the big revolutions, right, in the world, you have first we have the steam, and then we have the electricity. Later we're gonna have computer, and now we are talking about the cyber system, network, and so on. Everything in common here is that every single revolution, the company change, and the people focus also change. So if you make a parallel to offshore market to make it easier for the ones that listen us, first you have pneumatic systems, right? And then you have electrical devices, and then you have a distribution system controller. And today we're talking about Industry 4.0. Every single part of it that has in common is about change. Each revolution accelerates the change for a specific moment. So once you start to have electrical devices, it's not kill the pneumatic devices. Actually, today we still have offshore some pneumatic system, one of the most important actually, right? Because without them, we're not going to have operation at this moment. All the biggest and most important valves, for instance, are operated by pneumatic system. This not go away, but we start to have different tools to solve our problems, right? The control on pneumatic system is very difficult. To control this with a positioner or something similar to that is more easier. So electrical devices start to come to improve our way to do the operations, but not kill the last way to do it. So DCS is the same, and Industry 4.0 is the same. Everything in common makes different our operation. But something very important that needs to be said: the technology change will not by its own solve the problems, right? I'm very friendly to technology evolution. Actually, by my background, I like this, but it's not going to solve at all, right? What changes is the company need to look for the change and make its own change, and naturally make the focus of the people. The company that don't pass for this change probably going to leave the market, right? And if you do the parallel with that with COVID-19, COVID-19 has the same behavior of a world revolution. We change completely our way to do. We have new concerns, so company need to change, and the people also continues changing. So making this parallel of COVID-19 restrictions, we need to understand deeply what is making this change, right? Here I list some of the change that we had on the market revolution about COVID-19. So we start to have problem logistics, like several countries do not allow people to go and come. So they are in a lockdown. So how are we going to put these people on board? The transportation of persons are compromised. So how we are going to bring these persons to the offshore? And I'm talking not talking about only flights, but also bus and so on. So how we're going to bring these persons, right? Because if you have one person that is suspicious to have COVID-19 and you need to avoid as much as you can to have the virus on board, this person is together with several of other persons, how we can confirm that the other persons will not be contaminated with COVID-19, so, or at least not be suspicious. So we start to limitate the number of persons in each transport, right, in each car, and government give us the necessity of quarantine. So we need to plan better. We need to be in advance of what coming next. So this is just, for instance, the logistics restriction, but you also have the supply ones with the materials, manufacturers stopping working, the cost increasing, right? You have the human resource of the contracts changing, home office now for everybody, almost, that we can, like how to deal with that, how to deal with the ancient of the persons. So the operation itself is impacted by the lack of people on board, impacting of the minimum crew that you have for emergency response, for how we're going to continue operating with the minimum team, right? Our procedures now need to be adapted. Like sometimes you have additional PPE, or sometimes you have a different way to do it, like a distance, social distance. How are we going to do? So, and an embark process. How are we going to continue to operate your vessel, right? And how you need to maintain, how we can maintain the safety on board with this new scenario. So these operations constraint, as I said before about people knowing the people, is the link that I want to do, right? For the impact on the minimum crew and lack of people on board, when you have people saying to you what they want to do for the future, and you listen to them, not in the time of the pandemic, right? Before it, and you have this trust environment, the people that can assume another position, right? Of course that you need to have regulatory trainings. This is not negotiable. Of course that they need to be standing on the position for a while. But if you listen to the people and give them the resources to do, if you train them before the pandemic, if you train them before any emergency, they are willing to perform a job on the next position. So there is nothing wrong to have one guy on the deck that was trained as a crane operator and have all the certificates, have all the trainings, and work 1 or 2 days or 3 or at least 1 week on that position before. You have history, good history. The time that you are crane operator maybe not be possible to embark for any reason, this guy could assume that position, right? of course, that you need to run your internal process to guarantee that you're going to be in a safe way and in a good way, and what your management system says. But if you do that, you're going to have flexibility. So this flexibility could be the key point to you stop your vessel or not, you have your minimum crew filled or not. So basically what's happening is that you need to listen to the people before so they can start to train in another position. And the good thing that comes from that is that you're going to have people that sometimes already make the change, right? Position like a scaffolding, assuming a store. In the past, they make the movement, they train, and you have an open position there, and the guy assumed that position. This guy knows very well the scaffolding jobs. So not only he would be able to assist these scaffolding guys on the daily basis to help them to understand the better job, but also in the times that you need him, he's gonna willing to assist you. He will try as much as he can to give you what we need to continue operating. This comes because the trust environment create a moment that the team help each other. They start to assist each other so we can achieve our KPIs as was defined before by the company. So this is the most important thing, is to create an environment that people help each other, and by the time that you need, you're gonna have that. So this guy that moved to the next position give you 120%, and he will be he give you the operation flexibility to, by the time that you have a very minimum crew or emergency or any issues on board, he will be able to say, hey, I can help you. I have the certificates, I can help you in this position, someone can assume mine. So these give you flexibility to look for the operation, because COVID-19 do not give you too much time for planning. So this is the way that you can plan yourself, but it need to be done in advance. So this is one of the areas that we have changed, but it's not only like that, right? We have several areas that comes with changes. So contract medical areas, huge change. So now some companies it's been requested for tests before embarking. So how are we going to route your procedure for that, right? IT to support the team for home office and so on. So all of these areas is being impacted, but not only that, right? So I can say that COVID-19 is accelerating the change on the company. We become more fast, we become more changeable, adaptive, right? We could identify what is impacting us and improve, right? So passing through the COVID-19, I hope that we can pass very fast, but this come a legacy of how we're gonna manage the team in the very big crisis, right? The companies adapt their business protocols so they can have these on a very fast way to move for the next point to pass over the COVID or any crisis that come. So the most important thing here and the message that I really want to pass is, if you create a trust environment in the beginning, if the people are willing to help, and you will know better for the new positions that are going to be open, who going to be there, which person you're going to put there to assist you. So several of activities that you had before, you're not going to have anymore, right? Programs, developing programs that was in the middle that need to be changed. So this thing, if you know the people very well, you are able to pass the crisis very fine. So the benefits of an environment of trust, as I said, is to have a very fast response to the change. So people know the focus of the company and what they want to achieve. So that's why I said about the why of the company, how the company will reach and what they want to reach, right? So you know what the company wants to do, not saying to you, please do that. The people start to be very safe to speak and give ideas. And here is exactly what I say about the changes, why you're going to create a new system instead of let's create a new system. So people start to speak what they want, and leaders will know very deeply uh, who gonna be possible to deal with the new roles. So people has specific uh, ways to work. They have knowledge, and if you know very well their knowledge and how they like to work, you can put them in a specific position where they're going to have a very good performance. So in terms of operation, we're going to have a flexibility. As I said before, people that was training in another position desire to come to another position will help you on that time. And this is like a ball, you know, that every time that you start to do that, more people start to say, every time to do that, more people start to say. So start to have a very good environment on board and people feeling that they are improving. When they see that one guy from a marine team comes to engine room and improve himself because he mixed the trainings, he go to train by himself and come back. So people start to think that they can have a better job. It's just a matter of them to try to look for it. So we start to have a very team with a very deep knowledge of others disciplines, right? And the good thing is that once you settle that a good environment on board, barely you're not going to be able to see which discipline is responsible for what, because everybody gonna start to help. So when you need a scaffolding for a maintenance job, the marine team gonna be able to help them without too much question. They just do because they know that's the best. So the team start to work in a very easy way, and you can see the integration of the team. So this is very good, and this leads us to a very motivation team. The team understand that the new normal it is, and they will try to help you. Once they say what is important and how this is important, why, they will try to as much as they can to identify for you how to do that. And if they cannot, they're gonna be frankly and open to speak with you. I need resources. I need that. So you know what you need to do. And this give offshore team, for instance, a comfort that there is someone supporting them onshore, and that give the onshore a good comfort that what they say that they can do, they will be able to do, and what they say that they cannot do, we need to help them to do it. So we need to give them the resources that we need. So this help us a lot for planning. And if you say to them that the most critical thing is safety, and this is basically for offshore market, and I think for the industry, right? The most important thing, we can see what happened very soon to us a couple of days ago. So when we say to the teams that safety is priority, right? They are not afraid to say what's impacting them. So they come every day and report it to the supervisor, and supervisor are going to be able to report until the president of the company. So this is a way that we should bring. Like if I cannot solve, someone above me can need to solve. And if there's someone not above me cannot solve, someone above of the above person needs to solve for me. So management is it's more about looking for the people that are going to do the job, not looking for the results of the job. So that's why in the beginning I said that the KPIs is good. I have nothing wrong against that. So nothing wrong with the KPIs. But the most important thing to say is the KPIs as a result of people management, right? And how we deal with that. So the message that I would like to pass here is let's focus on people. Let's focus on how we are leading them. Let's try to give them a supportive way so they can build a trust environment on board, and where we can get the results of that and drive our operation a very well stage, the next level. And luckily we passed through this COVID-19 with a better procedures, better way to operate, with a huge flexibility, proving that this management can help us. Thank you.
Excellent, Bruno. Thank you so much for that and the presentation. And I have questions that have come up during your talk. So I'm going to relay those to you. First of all, give a little bit of context here of how you're doing this at MODEC. I know you have several platforms there in Rio, and MODEC is part of a very large organization. So tell us a little bit about the context. Where are you applying these concepts? Is it in a specific area of the business? Is this something that's happening company-wide? So tell a little bit about the scope of what's happening here.
Okay. In MODEC, we are applying this on the very well in the company-wide. So basically, we need to adapt ourselves. As you can see on all the disciplines that was a change, we need to have a very great and collaborative team that start to work on that change. So to apply the safety environment and the good leadership through the years, MODEC adapt and change the way that we are doing for treat the leaders, right? We start to develop the leaders so the leaders can start to improve themselves and generate this environment, or at least start this environment. So we have a huge fleet on Brazil. MODEC is a very big company, but we centralize these things so we can start to have a cooperative actions that we can develop ourselves and pass this to the team. So I've seen on MODEC, not only on the FPSO that I work, people growing all the time, new opportunities coming. So it's a wonderful job that MODECs are doing this moment, and the drive of look for the people is basically what makes the huge change.
Very good. And there in Brazil, and under your area of span or area of control, when did you start having this approach? Is this something that dates back to many years ago, a few months ago, started with the pandemic? When was the timing for this to get started to be implemented there in Brazil?
So the FPSO that I work, we start this movement around about 2017, 18. It takes time. It's not something that's gonna happen soon, suddenly. I would say that more or less a half of a year or a year to the team start to see the change, start to see that we are trying to improve our confidence and so on, and you can collect the results very fast. The first results, and this it's easy to be seen, you can collect in the first moment, because the safety on board, the number, we have some programs on board of MODEC, and the number of reports increase immediately. That is the first feeling that you have, that people start to look for the threats in a very fast way. And in the second point, you start to have a very small curve. So the curve is more or less starting very fast and then start to standardize it. And that's where you understand that you reach your safe culture, because or your trust environment is there, because your results not starting to drop even if you not insert something new. So they feeling that the wheels is running, so they know how to do it. So it's more or less 6 to 1 year to start to have a first results, but then you're gonna have a very good results easily.
Very good. And one of the questions that came up is that when you start, how do you start? Is there like company-wide communication about that we're trying to establish a culture of collaboration, of trust? Are these small meetings? How do you operationalize the building of this environment that you described?
Yeah, by our experience, this need to come from the top management of the company. So as I said, if the managers and the leaders say that they want this, who is below them start to do it. So because you know what's important to them and they need to give the example. So this start with the top management of the company of the Modic, and this was dropping down for the teams, and suddenly everybody's doing the same way, which lead us to the team communicate each other. Of course, this is very normal, and they feel that is a movement of the company to give more people perspective than only the cost and things so on. So of course that the cost is important, and we're never going to forget this. This is not something that you're going to say, oh, I don't care anymore about the cost. We do, but now we're looking more for people, what they want to do for the future, how I can help them to reach there. So you're gonna see on the time base that the people start to drive their wishes to you. The people start to discuss with you what they want. So you start to have one person to help you from human resources or any other area of the company, so they can communicate. And this is like a we start with the top management on the very short meeting discussing about this, and then you drive this below for improving. And one of the things that's very important then we start to do is discuss with the top and the bottom of the team offshore. What is our results, where we are, and what we want to go. So before the pandemic, we normally go on board to do that. With the pandemic, we're trying to do this on the virtual way. But the important thing is we start with a very small people discussing this, the top management discussing this, and press to the team.
Very good. And I want to ask you about a question that one of our respondents, I was just looking at, one of our participants asked before you talked about that it was top down. He was wondering, this was Ikai from Madrid in Spain, and he is asking, if you don't have that top down mandate to build a culture like that, do you think there is something that still can be done when there is not a company-wide effort to do it? Should you still apply these principles locally and try to build it from the bottom up? Do you think that still works, or it's just hopeless to try to do that?
Yeah, it's possible. It's more difficult, right? Because if the top management of the company do not create this environment by its own, you're gonna stop in a certain point, right? You're not going to come completely off this trust environment, because you're gonna create a very small trust environment, which is good, you can create, right? But you're not going to reach the potential that it is. So if you have a certain point that the manager understands that you need to create this environment, the top management of the company don't, he can try to create. It's not, I'm not saying that it's easy. Create a trust environment is not easy. It's as I said, a constancy thing. They need to do it and do it and do it. And people question a lot of things for him. Okay, why our top managers not want that? Why we are doing that and the other vessel or not? Because this creates more jobs for them in the beginning. But it's possible. It's just a little bit more difficult, but it's possible.
Very good, very good. Bruno, great presentation. Great. It's awesome to have an organization of the size of Modec and leaders like you who are implementing true cultural transformations. This is really what you're doing, and you have been fortunate to do that before the pandemic hit. And I think that you're harvesting the benefits of that now during the pandemic, a big crisis. So this is an awesome story and a great journey, and we look forward to following up and seeing what's going to happen. As a matter of fact, on August 25th and 27th, we're going to host a cultural transformation conference, and this is very much a preview of that. And we're going to have lots of organizations and leaders like you who are transforming their cultures at different levels with different approaches. And the way that you're doing is very it's great to see the progress you're making, the results you're getting. So thank you very much for taking the time to come here and share this journey with us. We really appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Jose. Very happy to have this conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Muito obrigado.
Muito obrigado.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this segment of BTOES Oil and Gas Live. We're going to come back for our last segment of the conference at the top of the hour. And you do not want to miss that one. We're going to have Debbie Roth here, Dr. Debbie, who is going to be sharing with us the journey of change management applied to digital transformation. So very much aligned with some of the topics that Bruno just talked about at MODEC in Brazil. Debbie is a technology leader at Dow and a global change leader at Dow as well. And she's going to bring her perspectives on change management applied to digital transformation. And it's a fascinating view of what's going on with Industry 4.0 in this very rapid environment in the oil and gas industry with the pandemic and disruptions in demand. So she's going to bring it all together for us and talk about how change is impacting digital transformation. So look forward to seeing all of you back at the top of the hour. Thank you.